Well, hello everyone. Here to show you the car's coloring tractor tip 4 coloring right here. And so far as back to talk to you about, of course, about the coloring you got right here is the seams for rear springs, and along with the piston cup it's for the tractor tip coloring for the character that I went ahead and did. And then you got with Mater, and then along right here is it says the name is for Speedrunner, and then along right here you have is the king, and then along with the audience. But then of course right here is I went ahead and included an activity which is you'll try to explain within about 2 minutes. It's you got 1 to 4 right here. It's 1 is imagine, create, and then detailed shape and color design, and along with note is to memorize. Is that of course, most of us probably think about is if you were to maybe come up with the character, the way the work that I did with these characters right here was, of course, is to look at a photo. But then, of course, this activity right here is talking about is if I were to create a character, using it, would you say the 4 basic shapes is what I went ahead and colored in. And then, of course, it's you say it's you start out with the four-wheel rider. Go ahead and draw a little image of a tire right there. So you get that four-wheel rider, and then go ahead and use is the green, and then of course using these shapes right here. You got the square and then along with the circle. But of course is to go ahead and draw the circle at about right in here. It is, and then of course it's it looks kind of out of even it is, and in a lot of ways, that's how usually how I do some artwork is that I would draw say different shapes to try to connect it, to just put a little bit of detail in there. You get this the circle right there, and then it's with the square, and of course what I went ahead and did, of course, is it's the square that if I were to draw a square right here, and then one that would connect at about right here. It's this character, which I don't even think that would be. It's what you call, it's what you wish to call a character from the Pixar films. It is. But you say that a square, or could be maybe it's a stripe. It's you have this stripe right there, and then of course it's a, and then it's you get a rectangle with the rectangle, and then you got say another rectangle about right here, and then of course it's if you were to draw what you call, so you do a rectangle right there, and then you go ahead and draw a square at about right here. And of course you see a lot of us will probably think that that's not really don't even look like a car really. It looks like what you call a scooter, I should say, but just add some detail right here, say for it. But anyway, I would maybe recommend, of course, is to use actual coloring paper other than what you call notebook paper. But just show an example about that if you were in class, maybe in show and tell or something like that, to kind of show that the students a little bit about how maybe it could be done. It is about really how you use your creative art. But yeah, right here is go ahead and use another blue, which I know favorite color is blue. It's a lot of things that anything that I would see in the toy aisle that was to say color blue, it is that more likely that I would want to get. But you got right here is a little car design right here, and I would if I want to go ahead and draw, put some eyes. That's all I'm go ahead and draw you see a stripe right here, a stripe right here, and then go ahead and maybe add some eyes at about right here. It's go ahead see here, draw is with the purple, go ahead and draw some eyes right here. But then of course this character right here, it kind of looks like Wall-E in some way. I guess you say that this car's character kind of looks like Wall-E, but other than that, I don't know if say that look like anything too much like Wall-E. But anyway, but you see you do circle, and then the circle could represent is like the spot is like for the character. It's like between Car's character and then maybe the character, say, of Wally. Anyway, the guy right here is like for the cars, and then this character right here is like have it to where that the character, say, imagine the 4 steps it is, and then of course it's like the 4 easy steps is, of course, it's like you give it to, if you want to give it a name, give the car a name, and I guess I would probably say that say give it a name as like Emma, the M-A, the M-A-R, the Matari. See, the Matari is like that. Yeah, it's like you kind of like the Matari car reader, writer it is. But anyway, you got right there is like with the study of the shapes and stuff. It's like with the triangle. And then it's like the triangle, and then of course the number of tries you have. But you have right here is talking about with this color right here is you got the king, and then of course is the details right here that I went and added. It's like for the for racing. And a lot of times I would probably, if anybody asks, it's like racing is all about the fact about it's like, if you win or lose, well, what is the best answer for knowing about if you win or lose? Or as you say, is that if there was anything related to cheating. It's like a lot of people probably say that yeah, well, if you cheat, then more likely you pay the price for it. Really, I really don't know if there's a way of that. I'm sure that people probably say that there is a way of cheating on maybe call a coloring test or whatever, but on the other hand, too, that you could probably think about is that with cheating, that really, if you were to try to take somebody else's idea, whatever it is, but like at least to try to share your ideas with other people, it is with other kids and stuff like that. But you get right here's the detail right here for the piston cup, and of course I'll go ahead and use the green crayon right here, but of course is to add a little bit of green right here. It's like you got the piston cup, and yeah, that design right there is what I went ahead and came up with. It's like for the design for it's like for the piston cup, and then you got right here is the tractors, and then the tractor tip, and then right here is like where you say radiator springs, and along with the desert scene right here. Other than as they say with the color of Wally, that maybe that the Matari is the car it is that you got right here is the scene right here from the, so you got here Doc Mater is like you Doc Mater made, and then along with the other characters it is, and say with Lightning McQueen is like you get that part, say the desert right here, say in far distance, and then along with the details about the mountains and stuff, and then right here is like for Speed Bummer. But right here for cross for the finish line is to know the 4 easy steps about knowing about the basics about racing that a lot of people probably think about is like with racing that you have maybe some people that may cheat at times, but on the other hand too, but it's about fun. It's about the fun, speed, the skills, and then of course it's like about the fact about which I'm sure that with most kids would probably think about is that that maybe that they want to draw something say use one color. If they want to draw something, and a lot of times by connecting other shapes, it's like use about whatever shape that you want to use just to be able to draw the detail. And a lot of times whenever I was in school, what I went ahead and did is of course was like of course I drew birds and stuff like that. Drew birds and then other things too just by looking at it. But on the other hand too, that there are some things about it's like knowing about the actual color is to know about if there's any detail, if there's like a shadow or some place, or maybe some parts of the coloring too that I may color one part of it darker and then one part of it really light than the other side. And of course it's like was most people probably think about is like how did you do that to where you would get it you get the coloring to show up. It's like that is that realistic. That realistic part of you it is. And on the other hand, too, I look at it as all about takes a matter of the talent and skills about the details for whatever, how much time that you time and work that you want to put in the artwork it is. As I think that's really what the true matter about how to make it look realistic it is, and not really about the fact that it's like, other than for practice makes perfect, and know about the different colors. Right here is like you got one color, and then you got the color blue right here, and then for purple, don't talk too much about the purple crayon, of course, but mentioned before that was most people would probably think about with the white. The white is pretty much, see, like an eraser. It is. You want to add maybe some white right here to the sign that says go. It's like for Go Lightning McQueen or whoever. But then on the other hand too, maybe if you mix a few colors, it's like mix the green, and then along with it, it's like this, like with the white, kind of give it that color as like. Yep. The white is hardly ever used, but then on the other hand too, that we can also think about is like with the white is to kind of give it that certain shine. It is. It's like for go. It's like other than go with the flow it is, but other than that it's like for go it's like and go for to know what about it's like go for the grade, like go for the points, and go for the score. But other than that, it's like the cars coloring, and for it's like fair finish. It's like passing for the finish line along with the audience. It's like cars and tractor tip coloring for.